We reached Ramsgate around 8 p.m. It was very calm passage, wind approx 10 to 12 knots on the beam ridge, so the whole leap we managed on sails. After custom clearance, we entered the harbour approach heading to our berth that was also arranged beforehand via VHF radio. Of course, before you enter the harbour, it is also necessary to announce yourself to the port control. Docking is always tricky and depends a lot on all sorts of conditions you face. Wind direction, space among the pontoons, experience of your crew, your boat performance, your skills.
Where are we, Chief?
Ramsgate. I think this is actually the most stressful aspect of managing boat, especially when you have audience staring at you, waiting your smallest mistake turns into potential damage. It's just normal behavior. When approaching berth, you are in a spotlight, like in a theater, feeling all of those eyes on your skin, all of those thoughts in the air saying how you're supposed to do it in a better way. Funny, but I admit I do the same looking at approaching sailors. After a boat was secured, we headed for a walk to explore town a bit and blend among British people. I think that I'm not the only one really enjoying British accent. It has something unique. Whatever they might say, it sounds with great dignity, full of delightful majesty. Ramsgate, one of the greatest English seaside towns with stunning royal harbour. Because of its distance to Europe, it was one of the most important embarkation points during the Dunkirk's evacuation in 1940. Great shopping area with traditional market. There are a variety of restaurants, little cafes and friendly pubs at the harbour side. Perfect spots to chill and relax next to churches, museums, historic architecture, wartime tunnels and beautiful cliffs. I can really understand why Vincent van Gogh fell in love with this place during his stay here. From the first sight it might seem as an ordinary town, but when you blend with it you sense and feel all of that history it went through. And of course it just wouldn't seem right without trying fish and chips in a local place as well as gin and tonic at the Royal Temple Yacht Club, place where thousands of sailors pass by every year sharing their own stories over the glass of rum. Ramsgate is a really beautiful, very picturesque English town. You can really sense the old English culture that lasts here for ages. We will be leaving Ramsgate at 8 o'clock in the evening and heading to Dunkirk in France. The trip is gonna be around 10 hours with a very nice wind, 15 to 20 knots, and the majority of the cruise will be on the beam bridge. I think we'll maintain a good speed and we'll have a good tide, so everything is gonna be on our advantage. We left Ramsgate at 8 p.m. following dredged channel towards east. We're leaving Ramsgate and heading back to France.
Wind from southeast or southeast.
Weather at the beginning was great. Wind around 12 to 15 knots. We were doing on the broad ridge something like 6.5 knots across the tide. After we changed heading to south and got into eastern side of the sandbanks, wind picked up unexpectedly to 25 with gusts up to 30 knots, so we reefed sails to the half size to reduce heeling and stabilize the boat, but that was not the major problem we faced. There were huge waves coming against our heading, heavily throwing the boat, so we had to fall off to take these with a better angle. We think those are built from southern west wind contradicting with southern tide. Very shallow water over the sandbanks pushed up the waves, building them further in this particular area. I think our faces showed respect to these forces that you really cannot play with. After 2 hours on the bumpy road, it calmed down, keeping stable 15 knots, reducing to 5 on the last 10 miles, so we had to run the engine. Following such an amazing rollercoaster we had, it was extremely boring without any wind. I do like sound of the engine, but it puts me more into sleeping mode, especially while cruising at night. We have arrived at Dunkirk at 5 a.m. and struggled a bit with finding a berth as everything was already taken. Finally we stayed longside to the other boat, which was by the way leaving 3 hours later, so we didn't have much of sleep. Dunkirk, historical town, went through a variety of developments over centuries. Known for one of the most significant evacuation of the Second World War, where during a 9-day operation every available boat in the UK was sent to pick up as many people as possible from the Dunkirk's coast. This operation saved over 340,000 lives. Today, the third largest harbour in France. Very touristic place, great for surfers and those who want to chill with a wine in the modern city among beautiful churches or with a beer along the sandy coast. Looking at our shrinking time frame for our trip, we left Dunkirk at night heading to Newport as we wanted to spend a bit time there tasting new city. There was almost no wind, so the short 70-mile trip took us around 4 hours on the engine moving with tide. We hit Newport after 6 in the morning, grabbed a glass of rum and went sleep. Thanks for watching. If you would like to support my channel, please subscribe and thumbs up. In the next episode we will visit Newport and sail back to Willemstad, visiting Zeebrugge and Vlissingen.